Seeking love? Let's dive in together. Welcome to Radiant Romance, my journey to true love. Join me, Christine Howard, as I navigate the twists and turns of finding my soulmate with grace, ease, and joy. Don't miss your chance to be front row with me in this exhilarating journey. Tune in and be inspired to manifest your own radiant romance. Welcome to another episode of Radiant Romance, my journey to true love. I am Christine Howard, your host and subject of this reality show. I have some fun, informative, and juicy updates for you today. So let's go ahead and dive in. Starting with my favorite topic, celebrations. I will say this was not a normal week for me this week. One area of my life was front and center in a really big way. I recorded a captain's log that speaks to what was going on and actually highlights my first 3 celebrations and gratitudes for the week. So here's that clip. Captain's log, Sunday morning. I just pulled in to my garage back in San Clemente after a weekend and actually about 9 days of primarily being in mom mode, grandma mode. It all started with a beautiful celebration a week ago Friday for my daughter's 30th birthday, and I will say it was phenomenal. I had this idea to have a nice dinner for her, but to invite some close friends. And when I reached out to my ex, he not only was on board, he took the reins and just did a phenomenal job. Came up with a proposal. I had my proposals, he had his, and we ended up going with his, which was just fantastic. And our daughter was super surprised, and we had some close friends, and we took photos, and the whole event was just blew her away, and I think pretty much blew everybody away that was there. So that was so fun. And then she had her puppy with her. So what does all this have to do with dating? There was a part of me that was feeling or started to feel like, okay, I'm not going to be, really connecting with anybody new this week because, I've got my daughter in town, and then we went from her birthday to my granddaughter's birthday this past weekend. There was this little uneasiness actually that I was feeling that, am I kind of shooting myself in the foot because I'm focusing on the family stuff? And then I remembered in my conversation with my friend when we went over my profile and how important family is, and just like everything, things are going to ebb and flow. And my kids' birthdays come once a year, Mother's Day comes once a year. There's these key things that are part of my life, and just because it maybe takes me away from the dating apps or dating in the moment, it doesn't mean that I'm surrendering that part of my life or that part of the journey. It's just not in the front and center attention right now. So, I love being able to either process these things out loud or journal them. And I will say this morning at the hotel down in Encinitas before I left, I just couldn't sit and journal at all. So I felt just give it time and you'll be able to process it. So here I am processing it. And I love being the mom to my grown kids and certainly my grandma and or the grandma, and my daughter had her dog here. My son and his fiance each have a dog, and then there's 2 kids between the 2 of them. So, wow, it was a very active family weekend. But I think kind of as I close out my reflection here from the last 9-10 days, the thing that was super cool as well is I talk about or think about male energy in general. So, how am I showing up with all the men in my life? Not just, men that I'm potentially interested in, but all the men. And this weekend with my son and my ex, I was very present with them, and I was very proud of myself for really, this has been something I've shifted over the years, just really appreciating them for who they are. My ex is a great cook. He loves to entertain. He loves wine. He loves great cocktails, and I honestly just really enjoyed being in that energy of a man who loves to entertain and to cook and to serve. And I allowed myself to really enjoy that this weekend, and I'm so grateful for how he showed up and how I showed up, and how we could just be there with the kids and have fun and tease each other and swap stories. And it was super fun and enjoyable. And again, yeah, it's just like, how am I showing up for every man I meet? And it's not like how I do one thing is how I do everything. So more and more I've seen that it is super important for me to be present and aware and conscious and connected fully in the moment with whatever man's in front of me, whether that's the bagger or checker at the grocery store, the checkout guy at the gas station, or whatever. So this weekend, and with all the time that I did spend, actually the last 2 weekends, it's been the most I've been around my ex in a very long time. And like for hours, just to be able to sit and, whatever, swap conversation with everybody. Yeah, it was a good thing. And I am, again, still on that journey of staying open to my partner coming in. I did look at the dating apps this last week and did a couple messages to guys that I'm open for our next, steps or a conversation. And yeah, just feeling grateful to have these different aspects and dimensions in my life, and I guess claiming them when they bubble to the front of my time and attention, like they did these last 9-10 days with 2 key birthdays and my daughter and her new puppy being here. So yeah, on the journey, staying present with the people in my life, the man in my life, and really just that, flowing with the energy. And I guess one last thing I did want to add in too is self-care and how, man, as a mom, I used to really put that on the back burner. And I really am proud of myself this week for sticking with my gym schedule. I actually got into the gym a lot earlier than weeks in the past, which was great because my daughter was working on the East Coast schedule, and just really taking the time for what I needed to do work-wise and not feel guilty about that. There are definitely some moments where I was starting to feel like I should be, doing this with her, that with her. And we definitely had plenty of time together. But, again, how am I honoring me? And I see, and feel where I did honor me, I was able to be much more present for her. So, okay, that's my captain's log this Sunday morning. Beyond the family time celebrations, my 4th celebration was inspired by some ideas I had to look for classes about dating or mating or relating. And there were 3 actually that I found that I signed up for. The first one is called Making Dating Work for Singles 50 and Older. Sounded appropriate. The second one is called Energetic Connections, which is more of a spiritual class about aligning our energy with that of our soulmate. Sounds fascinating to me. And then the last class, which is kind of juicy, is called Sensually Seduced Masterclass. We're to bring chocolate, a feather, a candle, and some essential oils to the class. I will be filling you in on the details and key learnings from all of those classes. So speaking of key learnings, let's dive into that. There is one really big one that jumped out to me this week, a key insight that I gained from my time with Jonathan. And that is all about lifestyle. And I took some time sitting in my favorite blue chair to get clarity on my lifestyle and really what I'm looking for in that partnership. And I recorded this clip for your benefit as well as mine. And it really speaks to, or as you go through it, as you watch it, I encourage you to really see if there's some nuggets in there that really jump out to you, if this is an area that you have not delved into yet. So again, enjoy the clip. One of the key insights that I received from the conversation with Jonathan was the uber importance of lifestyles being able to mesh. And that has been sitting with me, and I really saw it come kind of to the front or to the top of my life this past week or week plus with having so many different family activities, basically both weekends, this past one and the one before that were Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday family events. It, as I mentioned in my captain's log, it really, I really started to think about all these different aspects of my life. And it hit me even deeper today to take a look at my lifestyle. And while I have my intention card that talks about my partner and I do shared activities together, we both are health conscious, et cetera, I really will say I haven't sat down to really look at my lifestyle. I live it, right? It's like us being in our own fishbowl. We're living it every day. And how often we probably never stop to really think about our lifestyle. So my kind of deep dive insight is into really looking at what is my lifestyle and being able to articulate it, I think, better. I love how Jonathan did it in that he talked about, and I printed it here from the episode, that he's looking for a relationship where we spend 3 or 4 days together, days and nights a week, doing shared activities, hobbies, mutual interest, spending time with our family and friends, traveling together, teamwork, building skills, both in our personal and professional life, intimacy, both physical and emotional intimacy that leads to either moving in together or getting married. So he's got a very clear vision. Definitely mine is not that clear. I did sit down to do some journaling just a little bit ago in my captain's log. And there's some things that were pretty obvious as a lifestyle that are kind of, to me, the no-brainers. I talked about the fact that I'm an early riser. I think it would be great if my partner was an early riser. When I was married, my husband was definitely an early riser. And versus that night owl, and then you've got two completely different schedules. I love and need, this is kind of part of my self-care routine. I have a very strong self-care routine, which is that quiet time in the morning for meditation, sometimes reflective journaling, sometimes a little bit of inspirational reading. and then I go to the gym. Right now it's the gym. It isn't, the schedule can fluctuate, but right now I'm going to the gym 5 days a week in the morning before I start my work day. So those, and I dinner around 6 p.m. or 6:30. And I'll tell you from a sleep perspective, a gut health perspective, all of that seems to work really well for me. Again, these are some kind of staples, I guess, in my lifestyle right now that are working well for me. And ultimately, because I have these habits and routines as part of my day-to-day lifestyle, they really help me to be my best self. So I can show up for the work I do, I can show up for family and friends. And it's kind of those oxygen mask types of things for me that I do for myself. So, things can, has probably some flexibility here, but I will say these are pretty core things for me in my lifestyle. And then, as I looked at it, the big thing that I came up with that was, and I've known this about myself as of recent, is, and I don't know if it's just me personally or it's, based on, well, it is me personally. This is, I think, part of just my makeup is, I have these energetic cycles, and actually these even energetic cycles of like activity and rest, but even beyond that, of interest in something. I do love to dance. It's something I do frequently, even if it's just at home, dancing to some music. But I see where in the first quarter of the year, I was very much into taking dance lessons and going to the ballroom dance place for swing dancing. And then I kind of get my fill of it, and something else is calling for my attention or interest. And so I have this thing about me that I know that things ebb and flow for me. Like traveling, like I have a friend who travels consistently. She's got this regular schedule. That's not me. And I've seen a lot of guys talk about traveling. Do I want to travel? Absolutely. Do I love to travel? Yes. And my lifestyle isn't, oh, let's go make it a regular thing where every once a month we're going somewhere. That might work for a while, but who I have been, if I just look at how I live my life, that's not something that I do for myself. And so this energetic piece of me, it really, the thing I didn't have in my marriage, and again, I didn't understand myself the way I do now, is I didn't honor those different waves and those different energetic moments. I just kept pushing through like the Energizer Bunny. And that was so detrimental to my overall health and well-being, physically, emotionally, spiritually, like truly on all levels. So part of the lifestyle I've created for myself is I am super in tune with my own energetic cycles. And sometimes it doesn't happen often, but sometimes like my day is just chilling, laying on the couch, either binge watching some, uplifting movies, or it's binge watching podcasts or binge watching inspirational reading, because I just feel like this need to cocoon and regroup my energy. And I see this especially after like big things have launched in my life, either with like launching this show or when I came back from Spain and I had like 3 months of travel. And then it was very much okay, I need to regroup, re-energize, and reground in. So all of that really, to me, boils down to I really need the freedom in my life to honor those cycles. And so I feel like a guy who's this, consistent, like really structured, may not work for me. And I don't want to get into, again, down the road to the other guy, but I'm claiming what my lifestyle is, right? So my lifestyle, if I were to kind of put it in Jonathan's terms, is that, a partner who is into, health and wellness and meditation and travel. And, we have the flexibility to be together and also to do our own separate things when that is what is being called for in the moment. Like more and more in my life, I don't want to make any absolutes. It's truly like what is filling me in the moment, and that is my lifestyle. So can somebody really be that flexible like me to do that? And along with that, when I honor myself, and communicate that with others, like I know, like, and trust myself, and I want that in my relationship. I want them to trust me. I want to trust them. I know that comes with really communication, transparency, and owning each of us. And I'll start with me, owning my wants, needs, and desires. Jonathan talked about it again in the episode, and I printed this little excerpt about how, so many women really try and mold into what the guy's routine is, and that's definitely not gonna work for me. And I don't think ultimately it works for anybody to do that. So for all of us, again, really owning, what fills our cup. Like a lot of these things fill my cup, and we should be able to live in partnership with somebody where our cup is getting filled, and we're not in this place of sacrificing, definitely in a place of give and take, and one, but I want to say 1 + 1 is 3. Like, yes, you do your thing, and yes, I'm going to do my thing, and then we're going to do this thing together. So it's not like forsaking something core that either one of us wants to do. But again, this trust piece, right? So the trust, like if I need time alone, it's not because I don't love you or I don't care or I don't want to be with you. It's just, this is what I am needing for me to be in my best state of mind, my best, health, body, mind, and spirit. So, I'm curious, is that something that you've thought about for yourself, something that you've put on your own, thought about for your own lifestyle, and how's that been working for you in partnership? So, thank you, Jonathan, for bringing this topic to the surface. And again, I think the last piece I want to tie it to is the fact that I was so much in mom or family mode these last 10 days, mom, grandma mode. And it was beautiful. And I know for me, those things ebb and flow. My daughter lives across the country, so she's not home that often. But when she's here, I really, want to spend super high quality time with her, which I did. And to get my granddaughter, I do want to get back into planning some events with her periodically on a Sunday. So we were so multifaceted. And again, I think we can have these parts in our lives. We can give them the time and the space and honor them without having to create some super rigid schedule around it. Bringing it all back to, communication and owning what we want, need, and desire. So my lifestyle is fluid. I have those foundational things I love. Again, and I am open to, again, committed to honoring the flow of my energy when something, speaks to me and calls to me, as I continue to grow and evolve. So I think that's, again, part of something I absolutely will be communicating to potential partners is, does this kind of energy even work for you? And maybe some people it doesn't, and that's okay. So I will claim and own my lifestyle. I'll continue to to fine tune it. I've got some good notes now in my journal. And yeah, that was super helpful to get more clarity around it. I look forward to hearing from you on what you have come up with for yourself regarding those core aspects of your lifestyle. All right, that's my deep dive insight today into lifestyle. I am so grateful for the additional clarity I now have, and I see how powerful it will be to share this information, my core lifestyle, with potential partners. So, what did you learn about yourself? Please drop it in the comments below. And while you're there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So grateful for you to be here and continue that journey with me. Okay, that brings us to what's coming up next. I have a call with a matchmaker this week. It's really an exploratory call to learn about her business, and kind of how this whole matchmaking thing works. I'm not saying I'm signing up for anything, but I am kind of curious. And I'll bring those nuggets to you with everything and anything I learn. Second, I've been accumulating a list of topics that are coming up for me as I go through this journey. And there's just so much information. Like, I know I can't address everything in 1 week. So it's kind of like my little list that I'm keeping that I know, well, again, everything bubbles up in its own time, right? Well, I'll tell you this. One thing that bubbled up for me is sex. It's interesting. If this was a year ago, I never would be able to have this conversation with you right now. But recently, I've been to a couple of different women's wellness events, and a key theme and topic has been sexual health, sexual vitality, no matter what our age, especially after menopause. Now, I am one of those women that is post menopause, and there was absolutely a time in my life where I felt like I was going to be an inadequate partner. I've been on a journey of healing and growth, and I really see that this next level horizon is to have some consultations with both of these doctors and really learn more about vaginal health and hormone and how to keep everything functioning in its best way. So, yeah, more to come on that. I'm super excited for my own journey in this, and I will be bringing that to you. And the big thing, I'll say this, when they spoke, they busted so many myths that I had been, that I believed was true, that I now have renewed hope and excitement for a healthy sex life, no matter what my age. So again, stay tuned, more to come on that. All right. Then the third what's coming up new is that I'm in the process of putting together an in-person radiant romance, authentic connecting event. Stay tuned in this channel, as well as my social media channels, which I'll put in the show notes. I'll be bringing, as things firm up, I'll be bringing dates, times, locations, details to you. But I'm excited. It's going to be a super fun event. Okay, so that is what's coming up, which then brings us to the end of this episode already. How fast did that go? I truly hope you enjoyed the topics and the information today, and that it was helpful for you on your journey of calling in your partner. So thank you for being here. As always, thank you for your comments, your likes, your shares, for bringing other people on board with this journey. And it's truly a community thing, and the more we can be brave and share and walk hand in hand, I feel the easier the journey goes, the more fun. And again, we get to bust a lot of those myths about all aspects of having love at this stage in life, midlife and beyond. So until the next episode, I am wishing you grace, ease, joy on your radiant romance journey, my friend. Sending you so much love today, and I'll see you again real soon.